And we are live. I've myself, the Wolfman, and Big Bad Brian Joe's back. He's looking slick. I think he has the Holy Moses look there going. Looking back here, looking good, Joe's. Up in Morgantown. Good day here in Morgantown, not just Stillwater. We have Kevin Koken, 1988 team captain. And we have 1987 team captain, Harvey Holbanger Smith. And of course, we got Killer Bees, Aaron Beasley. And I have Major Harris keeps going in and out. So you'll be seeing Mage in and out. And don't worry about him. He's all good. He's not driving the cars in place. And there's Joe's. And Joe's, you look a lot better with that Parmar logo on you right there. Yeah.
Hey, you got to thank him. Parmar made it all happen.
Mountaineer Legends pregame, baby. With Parmar scores. What's the say, Joe's? If there's not one, there you go. There will be soon.
Absolutely.
And a good morning to you, Kelly McCourt out there. Appreciate you following here, watching. Keith Hawkins, Mark Parsons, we had on there. Major Harris Snyder somewhere. I see him down there in the box. Oh, there he is, Mage. There you are. That was a smooth double juke move. I'll step behind you, Harvey. That's three. There's Mikey Collins, shoulder pads, been here in the last game. The thing you're talking about, 1989, they graduated 1988 center. That play went to Little Finger, behind, and saw me in the right guard position. Thought I was the center. That was that play right there. And I can't
my
believe
name's James Gumitter, and I'm from Bethel
that
Park,
he didn't
Pennsylvania.
recognize
When I'm back
me,
home in the
Jeff
Pittsburgh
Price,
area, you can find
who's a
me
little
at
bit
my local
chubbier
farmer's
and bigger.
We had that golden blue pride at Parmar. There are literally
Right,
hundreds
I
of
can
Parmar
understand.
stores in West Virginia,
You know,
Kentucky,
somebody else,
Ohio, and
Jeff Price,
Pennsylvania,
like,
and even more on the way. Download the
he's a little
Parmar app
chubby.
to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at
Big and skinny mini
Parmar. West
Aaron
Virginia
Beasley
proud
over there.
and ready to
He
serve
runs the
you.
4-4-4.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
That's
Where
what
do the
Marcus
true Gorilla
is.
Blue Faithful go for the best in beer,
True
burgers,
scholar.
pizza, wings, and more? It's the Mountaineer Tap House on the
scholar,
Evansdale
yeah.
campus. Mountaineer
I'm
Tap
not
House
fit,
features
man.
well over
I'm not
40
fit.
craft beers on tap, plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza, and tacos the University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails too. Dine on the balcony or chill out inside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Parmar store on the Evansdale campus.
And welcome, Mountaineer Nation. Welcome, friends, to the Mountaineer Legends pregame with myself, Dale Wolfley, and Big Joe's. And of course, we have other legends here. Kevin Koken, 1988 team captain, team that played for the national championship. We got 1987 team captain Harvey Smith. Well, let's see. Bees, what year were you? 94 team captain?
95.
95. Okay, 95 team captain. And Mage, you were just all captain all the time, making everything happen. And of course, well, Joe's, we already know you're 1984. We already know you're a consensus All-American.
Well, I mean, I was a captain too. We were all captains.
Boy, I tell you what, man, don't be unconfident of your abilities, okay? I'm just saying it right now. All right. Welcome all, everybody. Really happy to have you join us here at Mountaineer Legends pregame. You know, the Mountaineers are 4-7, and it's been a season of a few good things that have shown through, and a season where a lot of things that haven't gone the way that Mountaineer Nation or anybody hoped or planned. So with that, we're going to start breaking it down. But before we do that, let's say, hey, did everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Anybody want to talk about it?
I got to spend my first Thanksgiving with my granddaughter. Was born 2 weeks ago, and my daughter's doing great. I got to spend that very first one. Isn't that awful?
That is wonderful, Joes. And let's just make sure we turn that phone off because your granddaughter's probably trying to call you right now.
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
trying.
Okay. Anybody else? Harvey, you got anything for Thanksgiving? Anything you want to put to the good of the cause for Mountaineer Nation?
Well, yeah, I think I hosted 40 family members. I have 8 kids, in case you guys don't know, and 7 grandkids. And so I hosted the whole family. And so I'm still recovering from that whole ordeal. But had a great time, though. Very grateful.
My goodness, when I called you Harvey Wallbagger, I was talking about the drink. All right. Bees, what do you got going on, man? What do you say?
I came back up to Pottstown and hung out with my family. It was pretty cool because, I grew up in a family of just all athletes, and to hear some of the stories from back in the 60s and 70s, it was so cool because it was all of my uncles. And the only thing that was missing was my dad. My dad passed away in 2013, but it was so cool because I think that was the first Thanksgiving we ever had all together in one house. That was a great time.
Pretty awesome. It's always good to have memories that stay with you for a lifetime, brother. And that's why the good thing is, even though they're not with us, we have those memories of them long lasting. Coke, what about you, man? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was awesome. Headed back to Youngstown with the family, and you had bookend. There's my mom at 92 and my great niece at 1, and everything in between. But the stories, and when your family gets together, and whether you're talking about sports or the stories that you got away with your brothers and sisters, and your parents are like, what are you talking about? When did that happen? It just makes you leave. It's like an ab workout. You're just laughing the whole time and having a lot of fun. And we had a ton of things to be thankful for. So it was a great day for all of us back in Youngstown.
Yeah, ab workout. Hey, Joe, that stands for working out the stomach. Just so you know. And Mage, man.
One ab.
How was your Thanksgiving, brother?
I got a 6-pack, but it's in the cooler.
Yeah. I hear you, brother. Many of us do. Go ahead.
Yeah, my Thanksgiving, people come on me, so hey, about 10 plates. Different relatives about coming to get a plate. Get to taste the different, make stuffing, turkey. That was nice.
I'm so glad. I'm sure you had more than one plate for sure.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And hey, so this is really cool because I'm looking at the screen here and I see NCAA Collegiate Hall of Fame Major Harris, and I'm looking at to my left, and I'm looking at the screen. I see Aaron Beasley, who was up for the NCAA Collegiate Hall of Fame, which is huge. Mountaineer Nation, please go vote for the Bees, Killer Bees, man, because he was one of the best in the ever in WVU, man, a Hall of Fame, all that. So let's get him in to the NCAA Hall of Fame.
Hey, I just like the recognition every year. I don't want to go in.
We're gonna forget about you.
People come back to me every year. Congratulations. That's all I need.
You know what? Bees, once Bees get in there, in the case.
Oh my goodness! I haven't laughed this hard.
Definitely gonna get in.
I haven't laughed this hard since I heard Reggie Remper say, "Hey, Mage, what do I do? Just do a post, Reggie." Touchdown, 60 yards later, man. What do I do, Mage? Reggie, just do a post, baby. Oh yes. Okay, so good tidings. My Thanksgiving was excellent with my family, and I ate a whole bunch, and I slept. I slept actually during a Bills game, which was really surprising because I love the Bills. Regardless, okay. Now let's get into last week's game. The Mountaineers taking on Kansas State coming in. Kansas State giving a little bit to the Mountaineers and proved to be too much. I thought the first half the defense was shoddy in their techniques, fundamentals, to say the least. Gap integrity offensively. Garrett did some good things. I thought he actually moved the offense pretty good and threw a little better than I thought he might. So he proved me to be convinced that he can throw the ball, at least for that game. And I thought he was very effective. So, Joe, let's start out with you, man. Let's go to the offense. Garrett Green, Gigi. What did you think of him taking command of the offense, and where did it leave you, the taste?
Well, I mean, I could start off with the taste. I mean, it left a bad taste in my mouth, obviously, for all of us. It's tough, Wolf, when you're down 14 points with 4 minutes into the game. I mean, that's a tough one to deal with. I'll give Garrett, though, a lot of credit because he bounced back from that. He didn't dive into the tank after giving up a pick six. He turned around and he did some really nice things. I mean, the guy threw 3 touchdown passes, ran for another one. So he picked his game up after that. I think that was his second go, that second start. I think he had too much going on in his head. I mean, he's got to take what they give him. And sometimes he's wanting to make big plays and force stuff. But at the end of the day, I thought he was a pretty good leader for the team. Too little, too late has been the story of our season. Too little, too late. And I will say this, I shot my mouth off last week, with Casey Leg. Casey was a little disappointing too. He missed a couple of kicks that obviously are points for us and keep momentum going. And that kind of hurt a little bit too, I thought. But it's just, I mean, we had a decent running game. We were moving the ball a little bit, and we were averaging like 4.5 yards a carry, which is legit. But
okay.
Again,
well, let's move on. Before you take everybody's opinion, Joe, we're going to move on to Kevin Koken. And Coke, what did you think about that offense last week and the performance?
All up, I think Joe's is dead on in that Garrett Green really talked about. He was a leadership. Talking about resilient, right? He kept coming. You throw pick six, okay, come back. Let's get it back on track. You have the second interception, which was probably a mental error, more so. I'm sorry, a bad throw, right? The right read, threw it poorly, but then came back again and kept coming back. When there was a great play, you could feel his excitement, right? He's jumping up and down, he's pounding his chest, he's hitting people on the helmet, getting excited. And that's what you want out of your quarterback, on top of, okay, I forgot that play, let's go. I forgot that play, let's go. And he really showed that. All up, the offense, especially in the first half, kept coming back after a mistake, after something happened. The second half, we kind of sputtered. We couldn't get anything going, but wasn't surely for lack of trying from Garrett Green. As we scored in the fourth quarter, so he kept coming at it. So all up, there's a lot of positive things to take out, but it's the lack of consistency that really hurt us offensively. You could probably say that on the other side, but focusing in on the O right now. Lack of consistency, but still fighting. And that's a very positive thing to walk away with.
Yeah, it sure is. And, Harv, if you're doing your first start as a quarterback, and I know Garrett's been here a couple of years, 3 years, but really it's his first start and his major playing time. What was your take coming in against a team that's top 25?
Yeah, I kind of will pick up where Koken left off. I think it was more of a consistency thing. You know what I mean? For a first-time start, just seemed like our chemistry. We can't make the timely plays at the right time, and then the turnovers, get you behind the 8 ball. So, but I agree with Joe's and Coke. I mean, Garrett, he battled. He didn't go into a tank. He fought back, had a decent game. What was interesting to me was last week on the program, I was making a point that they're going to stack the box. They're going to do some things scheme-wise defensively to stop his dual threat ability, take away a run game. And they kind of did that. If you look at his numbers from a running standpoint, and I said the challenge for the offensive staff is, can we evolve his passing game? And I thought he did an excellent job of, once he got past that pick six and start settling down, I thought he played 3 3.5 quarters of great from a passing perspective. Good for him.
Yeah, no doubt. And Bees, why don't you continue on with that? But let's take a look at this now. Sam James, who quietly, in my opinion, I was surprised to find out he is now 5th all-time in WVU in receptions. And he had a fantastic, what a great senior day for him, that he went out there and made all those touchdowns and catches. And I was really happy for Sam James. But the offense, the passing game was there with Garrett Green. Bees? How come you, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Like, it's going in and out. I couldn't even hear your whole question.
Yeah, okay, so the passing game was working. Sam James is now 5th overall in WVU. Okay, so what did you think? Can you hear? All right, moving on, Mage. Let's just move on to you, man. GG, running his first game. You know what it's like to be quarterback, going against the top 25 team. You know, give us what you thought about his performance.
Well, I look at it as kind of, I think start and on that, but the thing from a long-term perspective, are we gonna build on? You know what I mean? So, it's definitely you gonna have your ups and downs. Quarterback can start going up against teams in the country. That's you got guys here that have problems with top 20 teams like that. So I kind of look block and where do.
All right. Well, okay. So now I see that Mr. Darius Stills, our newest consensus All-American. And hey, congratulations to you. A big week for you. You signed with the Birmingham Stallions and the USFL. It's huge, man. Great job. I know you're still fighting through the injuries and coming back. So you've been through some tough times and you're ready to roll. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, yeah, I've been through a lot last year, but I had a good opportunity to get some good film now. So it's all going to be up from here.
As I told you in my Happy Turkey Day text to you, it only takes one man. And for anybody out there that is trying to get to the next level, no matter what level that may be, it only takes one person, one coach, one coaching staff to believe in you and give you a chance. And so best of wishes to you. But now let's flip it over. Your teammates of Garrett Green, what did you think of his offensive performance and the whole offense as well?
Despite the loss, the offense didn't do that bad. I'd say just, our defense wasn't really, helping him to complimentary football anyway. But, just Garrett Green threw 3 touchdowns. We were in the game until I'd say about the third quarter. And then, stuff started just, I can't, honestly, if our defense steps it up and the offense puts better than they were last week, we're going to win the game. Really, Sam James had 3 touchdowns, senior, balled out. He's just starting to play like a man in the last few weeks. Plays finally. I always wish we could have got Bryce. Bryce made plays too, but I wish we could get them both on the same. But yeah, I could say go in there today and just try to eliminate mistakes. Defense has played, but I like Garrett Green. I always told everybody, Garrett Green's the guy. We got to get him more. Every time he comes in the game, he always makes a play. If you go back and watch the film, he's doing the same, not getting that many reps to be able to just keep on doing it and getting better and better and better. So the more reps Garrett Green gets, the better he's going to get.
Bees, you on now? You can talk. All right, Bees. I don't know what's going on, buddy, but not good right now. All right, so let's move on. When we go,
hit the button, people. I'm here. I can hear you. There we go. Well, give me a question. Come on, I'm ready.
Tell me about the receivers, Garrett Green, the offensive performance, your DB. I want to hear from your perspective because they did throw some bigger plays. I think that was the longest touchdown pass of the season. It's definitely top 3, if it's not the longest last week. And they went deep. And honestly, Garrett Green, he does go for the big plays, but sometimes he'd be better off, as Neil Brown was saying, if he would check down and make an easier play. but then again, is sometimes high risk, high reward. What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, he's a young guy, so you can't expect him to be at his best right now. I wish we'd have played him a lot more last year instead of some guy that's not here. I mean, because you gotta give the guy a chance. I mean, he's a dual threat, and that's the way the game is nowadays with the RPOs and getting quarterbacks out of the pocket because these defensive ends are so athletic. But I think playing against a guy like that is tough because you have to cover a lot longer. You have to be a lot more disciplined. And I think he gives us an edge with his dual threat ability. And like Guy said, man, when you watch him, his energy, it permeates through the team. This is a guy that sat and waited his turn. And then when he gets out there, you can just feel the fire in his heart, man. He goes out there and plays hard. He plays every play like it's his last. And that can go carry throughout the team. The energy is what's most important when you think about football, because it is a game of momentum. And if you can create that momentum and do things to keep momentum, then you're going to win a lot more games.
Well, there's no doubt about it. But okay, so I say to you, who needs to play quarterback today more? Does Garrett Green get the majority? Does he get all of it? Are you going to get Goose? Are you going to get Nico Marchio, Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year? Is this time, knowing that we're not sure what the future is, the leadership of this program at this time, is it good, not good to get these younger guys in there to see today? You're not going bowling. You want to win the game. There's no doubt about it. What's the fine line there?
Is he all right to be redshirted? That's my key. Like, we don't want to waste
everybody's good. Well, he hasn't played yet, so you suspect.
We don't want to waste a year on one game. I know the rules are different now because
4 games now. You got 4 games.
Yeah, so I would put him in, man. I got to have some film on him so he can see himself in the next year, because I feel like as a football player, the best way to get better is self-scouting and seeing your mistakes, letting him go out there and just chuck it around, because next year he has something on film that he can watch and correct himself. That's what I used to love doing after practice, watching myself or watching another guy that can help me with my technique. Because I think a lot of us are visual learners as football players, because we see somebody's technique. I'm going to copy and paste what I need and make it my own technique.
No, you know what? That's excellent. And Harvey, I'm going to go to you with this. Now, what is your take on that with the younger quarterbacks, but not only the younger quarterbacks? You have guys, you can play a lot of guys today that are young. Now, you cannot put everybody out there that are all freshmen out there at once, so you're obviously going to get hammered. But strategically, you can go ahead and play a lot of younger guys at times to fit them in. I'm talking about the guys that you redshirted because they needed to be redshirted, but they're really close to being a meter changer. You know what I mean? A program guy that can move the meter and help your program, but you want to see him out there.
Yeah, it's such a tough environment now because it's so different than when we played back in our day. But with the way things are currently, I think you have to play your young guys, because what's going to happen is when the games end today, the transfer portal opens back up. And so coaching staffs now, not only do you have to hit the road and recruit new guys coming in, but you also have to self-evaluate, and you got to recruit the guys that's already on your roster. Because nobody thinks they deserve to be second team or third team. Everybody thinks they deserve to be first team. So you got to get them out there, get some film on them, so that if they're not that guy right now, you can sit down and recruit them back to the team and say, look, you got a future. You just need to develop some more. And here's what happened. Look at this game against Oklahoma State. You did fine, but you're not ready. If you transfer, you're going to still not be ready for the other team. So let's just continue this process of developing. We got you on film now. And conversely, if you give a young guy an opportunity and he shines, now you really better be recruiting him to stay. Because just like B said with Garrett last year, if he had more experience last year, who knows, maybe he would have been our starting quarterback at the beginning of this year. And it's just something to be said about what you guys are saying about the energy that he brings to the team. See that, like B said, it permeates through the team. I remember playing with Major Harris. I remember he was a young guy. I remember when he came on that field, it made me a better version of me because I just believed in that guy. His energy, even when he made a mistake as a young guy, I'm like, man, we got a chance to win this game because Mage, that dude got something different. And I like what I'm feeling when he's on the field. Garrett is bringing that to our team, you know what I mean? But so to answer your question, we absolutely got to get the young guys in. I mean, we're 4-7. We got to be looking for a different way to do things.
You know, Mage, with that being said, you know, you got to love, I mean, Team Harvey Wallbanger with his 8 children and his 6 grandchildren. I mean, I'm sure they get pretty motivated out there to do some work. But, Mage, what's your thoughts on the quarterback? Do you play Nico? Do you play Goose? What do you need to do with that?
Yeah, I think so. You know, there's another version of the Brady Bunch. You know, with the kids. Hey, you know, my most memorable moments, you know, playing here was when the first touchdown started. The ball slipped out my hand. I couldn't see it. Harvey made a catch, caught it. I couldn't believe it. Crazy. I just threw my hand up like but it slipped out my hand. So the only passes ever threw that I still passed, but Harvey made me look good.
All right, very good. That's good. Coach, what are you going to do with 3 young quarterbacks now? Do you got to see them all play in the last game, or are you going with Garrett Green, who's got the hot hand?
Now, I'm going to get some guys some reps. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to figure out how to get the reps with Garrett Green.
Yeah.
Right. So you put him on the field as that leader. So maybe you go to Wildcat, you go to Pistol, you go to something a little bit different and bring these other guys in, give them the opportunity to shine, but also leave Garrett in to lead them. Right. So they got somebody they can turn right. You know, Nico can look at Garrett and Garrett can look at each other and they can carry each other through and help each other get better, but more importantly, help the team come together and win a football game.
Well, thank you, Kevin Kogan, for adding to the program. Good stuff there. And Joe's going at you, man. What's your viewpoint on this? You've been a coach for a long time. What are you looking at your young guys? Are you got to get them both on? Are you got to give them each solo time, or are you going to go with the hot hand and Garrett featuring him? What do you do, Brian Joswick?
I'm going to order some wings. No, I'm only kidding. Nah, you know what? Hey, Wolf, we're 4-7. This is a huge game for our program because it's like a 1-game season. Everything else doesn't matter. We're not going anywhere after this. So this game springboards your program, whoever's program it's going to be, the Mountaineer program, into the offseason. So, in my opinion, this game is the first game of next year. Screw this year. This year's shot to hell. What we got to do is we got to focus on one game. We got to let our guys that are seniors enjoy that last game. But like you guys have all said, and I tell you, that's a heck of a point about recruiting the guys that are already here. That's a whole nother freaking wrinkle that just, I mean, Harv, thanks, man. That opened my eyes because you don't want to lose anybody. And right now, we've already lost a few. And depending on the rockiness of what happens in the next couple of weeks, you know, we might lose a couple more. So you gotta give a little candy, a little sugar, you know, give that Nico. He can redshirt, but give him a little juice. Give him a little something that springboards him into his offseason and keeps him here in Morgantown. I mean, that's a whole big thing, and we're only talking about one player. There's a whole lot of guys that fit that same bill. So get some young guys some playing time, but let's not go overboard. Bless you, Coach. Let's not go overboard because guess what? We got to win this game. We got to go out there and do everything we can to win this game because, again, it's the first game of next year, in my opinion.
All right. Well, we're going to move on from there. I might have a question for you a little bit later, depending on our time here. But we're going to move to the defense now. First half, I really thought that they were losing gap integrity. and the defense. They seemed in the second half that they came back, shut down the bigger plays, made it more competitive. What was your viewpoint of the defense last week?
I'd say, I mean, it's hard to say this every week. Consistent is being able to have that, like you said, gap integrity. I mean, we're at a point in our season. I don't care. We can just whatever. We're not gonna make a bowl game. We can just do whatever. Without really trying to make it to that next level. It's they got to stay consistent and be disciplined. I mean, sure, it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. We ended up going to a bowl game, but it was like, all right, we didn't come better. But I would say we just got to go and just play this last game like it's like Joe said. I mean, last games are always the momentum pushers regardless of the game. I remember going into my senior year before COVID hit. We didn't make a bowl game, but then the momentum wasn't that well because we just did, especially with new recruits in and just how the recruiting business goes. But would have these seniors that had the last game here to be able to just play just their best ball. I mean, I was 20 minutes ago saying, this is the last one, make it count, because this is his last one, regardless of whether he likes it or not. Just keep that in mind and go in that, hey, this is the last time you ever put it on that Mountaineer uniform, so what are you going to do with it? People watching this, people around the world watching this game, a lot of people around this country, even everybody in West Virginia is watching. They're also on the same page as us. We're trying to figure out how this team is going to be able to, push through this last game, see what who they are as a man. Like I said, it's easy to just be able to not care at this point, but it's all about who.
Yeah, Joes, what do you got to say?
Nothing. I'm just totally agreeing with that. Amen. It's about the man. It's about who you are as a player and a representative of West Virginia, and lay it out there. Good job, Darius. That's awesome. Well stated.
Is it fair to say, Kevin Koken, that everybody needs that motivation to play because the eye in the sky, which is the camera, the eye in the sky is watching you play, whether it be for West Virginia, whether it be for someone else you might be auditioning for? Is it fair to say that you should have motivation regardless? Because coaches are going to look at that. Are they going to look and say, well, here's a guy who wants to transfer, but West Virginia was going bowling, and he came out and he played 50% of his effort. Does not everybody have to be on fire this last game to showcase, if you will?
100%. So, remember back to what we thought might have been our last game, right? You didn't know what game it was. Maybe you're going to a bowl game for everybody played beyond. You don't know. So you wake up this morning out in Stillwater. There's only one person you go look at it. It's you in the mirror, right? There's film and there's coaches and there's all that, but it's you in the mirror. So you've buckled up for 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, depending on how long you played. And you've done that for one reason, because of your love and your passion for the game, right? Maybe you got your scholarship, maybe you got a chance to play and make money in the NFL, all that, right? But that's not what said, when you were 10, why you went out and played football. I mean, you just felt it. You loved it. So you wake up this morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I going to do today for me? And when I go to bed tonight, the last person you see is probably going to be yourself in the mirror again. And how am I going to feel, right? Did I do my best? Did I try my hardest? I might not have got every block or made every tackle, but it's not about that. It's about I never gave up. I kept fighting. I kept punching. If the film is great, that's awesome. If we win, that's great. But you know what? Can I look at myself and say I showed up and played and did what I loved? And if you can't do that, then don't even show up today on the field, right? Go say, I'm out, right? But you got to show up for yourself. Everything else will take care of itself.
Darius, I'm going to jump on you right back at you. Or what's going on in the heads right now of this team, of these players? Some guys are there to stay. Some guys are thinking about, the fence. Some guys are worried about Neil Brown. I know you're close. You got a brother on the team, man. And I'm not saying I don't want you to reveal what Dante's saying, but what are you seeing? Because you can say what you want to say.
So Dante, he has nothing bad to say. I mean, he played 5 years here. He's happy with how his career went. There's a lot of people that are going to leave because it'll be revealed, it'll be revealed in the media. But a lot of people are going to leave, try and do it a lot. It don't make no sense to me, especially if you play a lot. I don't know why you would leave. It don't make any sense. If you look at the past people that left here, only like 2 or 3 are actually playing. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are leaving. A lot of people don't want to play in Brown anymore. I personally, because they're going to pay him out $17 million. So, I mean, that's a lot of money. Being able to pay him and pay a new AD on top of that, I mean, it's just a lot of money you got to worry about. But, yeah, a lot to go somewhere else. But it's like time will tell. I mean, like I said, just for what I've heard in the locker room and stuff, there's a lot of people that are going to leave.
I got you. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this right now to them, and I think you just said that. Meaning was that, the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. And how many guys have actually gone to play at the same level or advanced up? We know that Tyke went to Georgia. We understand that. Well, that's few. That's very few.
All games. Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, you got 1 or 2 examples. That's it. The rest of them.
Ollie Jennings, he's doing good. Tyke, he got hurt. Winston Wright, he got hurt too. That's really all I can think of who is still actually. Other than that, that's to show you right there. Like, I mean, if you really believe, if you're ball out, you're gonna be playing. I mean, there's no reason you can play ball these. So it's like, all right, if you're not playing here, what makes you think you're going to go somewhere else and work your way up when you couldn't even work your way up here? It doesn't make any sense. And also, if you're that good, coaches aren't like. If you're a good player, these coaches aren't going to pass over you. They're going to be like, all right, there's no way we can't put them in the game. But if you think you can't work your way up here, C school, and work your way up there, whenever these seniors that have been there, they've been there working their butts off, working their way from the depth chart ever since then. They got years ahead of you. There's no you being a part of that team is slim to none. So I'm like, all right, you got to step to that, play where you have the best chance of playing, and just go from there. Your film will speak for it.
Well, words of wisdom there, Dave. I appreciate that because that makes a whole lot of sense. And Bees, I know you got something to say. You're thinking about it. You've been to the top, man. You've played with the best. You are one of the best. And when you think about all these guys that are trying to jump ship, because it's supposedly, and I'm saying supposedly, and Darius will probably know better than I would, but you're supposed to, when you jump in the transfer portal, no one's supposed to be able to talk to you until you actually jump into transfer portal. Paul said the press conference was, well, these guys are going to have options. Well, I don't know how you have options before you actually jump in unless there's something dirty dealing going on. So I'm not naive. And I'm going to go ahead and just, give me your thoughts on this, man.
Well, like as concerning last game, I think the main thing is we're all competitors and we all love sport. And I mean, you were here when I was here, Wolf. I took every practice personal. And it's like there was no flip the switch. The switch is always on. So it was like I knew I was going to the NFL. I didn't know when I would get drafted, but I still cried like a baby because, I came in with some guys and I didn't redshirt, but I knew I wasn't going to play with these guys again. And it was more about, and that's football. It's not even about you when you play football. It's about those other 20 or 11, 10 guys on your defense or 11 guys on your offense. So I never even thought about a last game. I just thought about going and making a play every game. And I never thought about it as my last game. I just went out there and just loved the game and just played. There was no, this could be my last game. I just love what I'm doing right now. I'm just in the moment, not thinking about what my future holds because I'm going to make a statement by my play. It don't matter where I play, who I play, what's my record. I'm going to give you 100 every damn game. That's just the way I roll, whether it was thumb wrestling, ping pong, pool, racquetball, whatever. I'm gonna give you 100, and that's the only way I knew. That's where I was brought up.
I can think of a bunch of other competitions about you, but I won't reveal them right now. I will say this, Harvey. Let's get to the fact here. Right now, this is coming from me. I don't know if Neil Brown is going to be released or he's going to be hired. Maybe Darius knows differently, and I don't want you to have to say that. It's not what I'm trying to get at. But if you're a player and you don't know, right now to me, that West Virginia program is floating down the stream. It has no navigational device, nothing to control it. WVU program is moving in the stream. I put this tweet out there, taking some flack for it. It's okay. I'm a big boy. But am I right when I say that whether they endorse him or release him, they need to make a decision? Because if anybody says right now is not the time or you don't have to rush in, they're absolutely wrong, because this is a critical time in signing period. And it's not just about signing new guys. It's about keeping your players that Darius just said he felt like some guys were talking about leaving. And it will prove to be a reality. How much of a dead fish is WVU?
Man, I mean, Wolf, those are excellent points, because that's exactly where we sit right now. I mean, from an administrative standpoint, we are in a conundrum, because you have this program that's sliding downhill. You got a lame duck coach, and you're absolutely right. As much as we don't want to hear it in Mountaineer Nation, they got to either endorse him fully as soon as this game ends, or they got to start with an exit plan. Because I said one of the critical things is there's 2 recruiting games now. You're recruiting new and you're recruiting the ones you have. And so how do you go to the ones that you have and recruit them if the future is uncertain? If we don't know if Brown is our coach, what can he go in and say to the guys that's already on the roster to keep them? Nothing, unless he's endorsed. If you're moving on from him, then publicly we got to start to say we're in this exit plan so that we can get the right guy in here. And frankly, that's my opinion. I like Brown, but my opinion is time to move on. And it's time to move on, and we got to get a guy, because this transfer portal will keep us at 4 and 7 if we don't get the right guy to bring in the right culture. Because, see, the programs with the right culture, the transfer portal is something that they benefit from, not lose from.
Well, I have to agree with you. My biggest thing is this: NIL, transfer portal. You got to win. Win at the transfer portal. Win at NIL. It's more than X's and O's. It's more than everything. You have to bring in the Jimmies and Joes. If you don't have Jimmies and Joes, if I don't have Darius Stills, man, I'm hurting. If I don't have Dante, if I don't have a younger Brian Joswiak, I am hurting. We need to have a direction. Now, even if you have an interim coach, if you say we're going on beyond Brown, and you have an interim coach saying, hey, listen, guys, hang on. We got some really big coming in. You may not even know who it is yet, but you're telling the guys, because somebody needs to be swimming to some goal, some point. Somebody needs to be communicating with our players now and to hopeful future players. This is the direction we're going in. Hang on. You don't want to leave now. It's just going to get great. That's the message you have to sell. Whether they buy it or not, that's a different story. But right now, there's nothing, because Neil Brown, unless he's telling the recruits he's going to be here, do they really believe it? I know one thing. They just lost a guy that's probably one of the best recruits to Penn State. I know that. It's happening because there's nobody in charge. Joe's, please tell me. And then Mage, after you. I'm sorry. No, skip it, Joe. Let's get here from Mage real quick about that. Neil Brown or the situation, the coaching situation.
I think this is a big learning experience. The whole transfer portal thing is resigning or moving. And, now I guess players got to look at free agent. That transfer portal, at it from a standpoint, you're going to be brought out. I mean, you don't want to go somewhere and not get, to be honest, like you said, at Green on the other side, a thinking from an internal look at it. Well, if I were to Clemson offer me 30, they want me. I'm just using that. So players have, because you can't just jump and transfer, then you go sleep at 2-0. You know what I mean? So, and maybe with a little bit of the whole thing of recruit.
Okay, man, you froze up, buddy. Joe, let's continue on with that. What you're thinking about the situation? Where do you think we need to go with it, man? You know, honestly, I am not saying, and Harvey, I understand your point, and what you make is logical. I'm not saying that we need to do something or not to do something in direction, but we need to do something, right, Joes, or not?
No, I agree. And that something needs to be done, like right after this game, whatever decision it is, either like you said, endorse or start the exit plan, like Harv said right there too. You got to get it going immediately, because recruiting is a machine and it doesn't stop. And the moment there's a big question mark, you start losing possibilities, and we can't lose anybody. And Wolf, I got to agree with you. I'm gonna go back to the Jims and the Joes. You got to use the transfer portal and the NIL to bring guys into the program, not to get a better meal, but to be able to play at Big 12, Power 5, high-level football. You can't go out there and put a bandage on an arterial bleed. And when you lose big-time players and you replace them with guys that are kind of average, you're not going to play. You're going to be 4-7, 4-8. So that's as simple as that. We got to, make a decision quick. And if they do keep the guy, they got to give him some ultimatums. You got 1 year, screw that big giant buyout. It's a whole different deal under this new athletic director, who that would be. But you know what? If you're going to be here, you got to revamp your defense. You got to bring in some other people. You got to do something below you to help, because culture is created by all of us. Yeah, it's created by leadership, but it comes from the support group, who you have underneath of you, and then it trickles into the locker room. What are those guys doing in the locker room? Hey, and you know what? We don't know what decisions have been made. We know a little bit about what's going on, but what's going on up there behind closed doors, they might already made decisions that we don't even know about. So who knows, man? Let's play this game today. I want to see a great Mountaineer football game against an OSU team, and then we got to have a decision. We got to all of us. We got to know what direction is this program going in, because. And Wolf, like you said, right now we're just floating in the pond. All right, we need to get on the river, and we're just floating, and it's not helping nothing. So make a decision. That's all. Make a decision.
It's very interesting, and like I said, I've been here. I've been listening to this. I want to say this, and you can jump in or not jump in. I think with the Shane Lyons being let go, I don't think it was a planned exit. Because if it was a planned exit, you would have somebody in mind that you wouldn't have to go do a national search for. Okay, what is the pre-planning? Okay, I know this. When Dana Holgerson was going to leave, if the writing was on the wall, Shane Lyons had a list, and obviously Neil Brown was on that list. But is there a list of ADs? I don't know. Why would it take 3 to 4 weeks to do a search at the most critical time when you have a coach who you're not endorsing or releasing, or at least you're not acknowledging it in public? For me, I don't think that was a plan, releasing of Shane Lyons. I don't know. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
I don't think it was planned, because he's been the AD for a while. I mean, but I think with he extended Brown's contract, and then the losing season. And plus, these guys, they can say all they want. They don't, I don't read social media. They read that stuff. What's social media? So it's like, all right, we're losing. It's all about money. If we're losing our fan base if we're losing, our TV, ratings, and we're losing, then we got to do something. He is the reason why, and and I hate putting it on just all on one person, but he's got to be able to hire somebody that is trustworthy enough to be able to turn the program around at this point. So whoever comes in next to be able to hire a new coach, I mean, hey, power to you. Graham needs some fixing up. It all starts with the AD. I mean, you got to be able to hire somebody that's able to put Shane lines and being able to just be able to hire the right people. So I don't have a guy yet. Like I said, Coach Brown, like whenever they fired Dana, Coach Brown was here in like what, 3 weeks. All right, like I don't think they don't have anybody. So I think after this year, after this game, picking it up.
Well, I agree with you, D. Obviously, and I think that's an issue, and that's why West Virginia is not right now have made endorse or let go. Please jump in, buddy.
Hey, it was funny. I was just talking about this yesterday. We're kind of talking about how being in the Big 12 is kind of hampering us, because we don't have the homegrown talent like other states. And then at the same time, our recruiting base has to compete with the guys over out on the central time zone. So we're thinking about, where do guys want to play? They want to play where their family can come see them. If you're when we're in the Big East, we had the whole East Coast. So we can recruit all the way from New York all the way down to Florida. But I think what's hurting us, we have to have a coach with a national brand that can bring people here, and a coach that has a resume. Because our program, we thrived off of the underground guys, the blue collar guys. We didn't get all these 5-star recruits, but we had the coaches that were actual great teachers of technique, and they were great motivators. And Brian brought this up. Coach Nealon was the good cop, but he had a bunch of bad cops around him, and it was great because it was a system, Collab would chew you up, and then Coach Nealon would come hug you, show you that love, and you go run through a wall for him.
Yep.
I don't see that kind of energy here with this coach, because I don't think he has the resume. He doesn't have the length of a career. Like, where did he come from? He beat LSU twice. Is that why we brought him here?
I would say just me playing with him, it wasn't so thought about the resume. Because at the end of the day, like if you're here for a reason, they like you for a reason. I'll say just the way. All right, Dan, with him, I played with Dana too. He was football. You know what I'm saying? And like, for us to get our recruits, in order for us to get anybody we want, we have to win games. It doesn't matter. You can do, and you can bring these guys in, but it's like, all right, if you're not winning games, I don't want to play for you. And like I said, it wasn't about the resume. I never once was like, all right, he did this. Well, he approaches stuff. He tries to force people to play upon his culture whenever he has. So it's all just respect. It's like, all right. Well, for me, I have no problem with Coach Brown. He has to allow me to play how I play. So I'm forever grateful. But I'm just trying to put my players like hands, I say, so and eyes, I say. So it's like not about resume. It's he tries to approach stuff. It's like he tries to bring all this outside noise into the building whenever it does a lot of stuff that that as a player I didn't like about it, but you just got to.
Hey, D, let me ask you a question. How big was the Key Messidor transfer?
That was huge. I mean, they were saying he was like the next grade. Like, plus he wasn't even playing. He's playing out of position. I played out of position too. I could handle it. Akeem's like 260. They had him playing the one tech. Like, you can't do that. So, but as for the team and as like the momentum, it shot us down because it's like, hey, Akeem Mesidor, Sean Martin, Taj Austin, we got them on the line. We've been playing together just there. But as soon as you take one of the biggest parts starts out of your D line. Said, well, the puzzle is never going to be finished because the main piece is out. So really, he's a great player. He's down in Miami. I forgot to mention his name earlier. He's doing this thing down in Miami. He's a ball player. I mean, I had no problem with Keem. I love Keem, but it was big, and that gave it. If you're starting nose tackle, it's making plays. He's been playing since freshman year. Leaves Miami, so it's like, all right, what's really going on?
That right there, I think, is the biggest point of all, that you saw starters leaving, and a guy like Akeem Mesidor, who everybody liked, and still does. And I'm not going in that direction, but he was a motivator. He was inspirational. He's also a leader. When leaders leave, people follow.
Exactly.
And I think that's was a tough time for the Mountaineers, and maybe someone should have been listening a little more about that one technique, because I know what you're talking about. I said it myself. What's he doing in there? And it's abuse, man, in some ways, because that's not who your body is. That's not your natural position. So I understand it. And with the future ahead of you like that, it's tough to ask a young man to sacrifice, although you did. And I got to say this one last time, and I'll let it go. But your dad, you, and Dante, 61.5 sacks, okay, together. It's a legacy, man. It's a lot from loyalty coming from your pops and your mom, Janine. And I just want to say, man, your royalty, guys, just so you know. The Stills name is royalty in Mountaineer football, and I think it's really awesome. Really, really awesome. I just wanted to give you the shout out.
I like that picture of your dad and your brother, man. Your brothers with his bawling, crying, man. That was like that hit me right here, because he loves this place, man. You know what I mean? And it's like you could tell he didn't want to go out like this, man. It's like I felt that through that picture, man.
I mean, I was my last game when we played Army, I was crying. I put my all into this. Now it's a part of my past now. What am I going to do next? Like NFL, next chapter of my life. So Dante, he's been building this emotion up for the last couple of years. He's like, man, I'm going to go emotional. Now I know it's my last game. So he's very more emotional than me. Dante, like,
he is, bro. Yo, he is.
Okay.
Hey, I went. Can I say one thing? I gave my little talk to the team, and he was sitting right there in the front row. Man, I could just see it. Man, he had me like tearing up, because he was like, he's about to come hit me. But right there, when I saw that, I knew how much WVU meant to him, man. Because he was, he was a guy just staring there, like eyes just like, he was ready to go, man.
We shared a room, right? And we had a Mountaineer room. I had the Blues just wanted to play for West Virginia. Like going from to Morgantown to West Virginia, we never knew. I think my senior year for recruiting, we always would just stay out and like earn our way in there. You know what I'm saying? Like we just had a different mindset. Like, anybody can just go in, but we were like, all right, there to mean something. So it's like, all right, like us playing in a uniform, it means so much more than to play for West Virginia. It was never a doubt in our minds ever. So.
Well, that's very awesome. And, let's move on here a little bit. And I got one more thing I want to just ask, and then we briefly talk about Oklahoma State game. But Harvey, NIL, man, Country Roads Trust. I want to put this in here. And my reasoning is this: the collective at Tennessee. It's no wonder to me that Tennessee is in the back relative again in football. And it's a correlation between their trust, their collective that they have there. They're outstanding. They're top of the line. And when's the last time you heard Tennessee being in the limelight? And they were for much of the season, and still in number 11 this week. Country Roads Trust. NIL is the future. I think that's why Shane Lyons had a problem. I think there's an issue there. It has to be tied hand in hand with the athletic department.
Well, NIL is here to stay for sure. I mean, you could either fight it, or you could take the steps to understand it and to win. To your point, we got to win at the NIL. You know, I don't know what that means exactly because that's out of my scope of things, but I am a businessman, and anything that involves money means it's about business. And so we at West Virginia, whoever we bring in next, or if we decide to endorse Brown and he stays here and we bring another AD in, we got to address the NIL. I mean, I still am in contact with a lot of college programs, you know, because I spent the last 25 years coaching and doing all this 7-on-7 stuff. And I still, these kids are still coming to my house and I hear them. And that's what they're talking about is how much money can I get? And for you to have the approach that I'm just not going to participate in it, I hear those kids and I'm just I'm right in the same room with them. And they literally are eliminating. And I know kids who came down to their final 2 decisions and knew that the other school was where they should go. But then they were talking about $300,000 and $400,000 into kids that might never see that in a lifetime. How do you tell them that they're making a bad decision because that $300,000 or $400,000 can take them out of poverty, or it could take them out of paycheck to paycheck and make them a more formidable family? It's a tough decision. I can't coach. That's why I don't coach anymore. I don't have the answers for all of those things.
It ain't tough for a player. Go get that money, player.
Hey,
right.
Jones,
that's right.
Jones, I know you're old school, man. What's your thought?
It's out of my wheelhouse. I don't understand it, but we're all talking about money. Where's the money going to come from? That's where I get to when we're looking at Morgantown, West Virginia, and we're looking at our alumni. And yeah, we got some guys in the NFL that ought to be, maybe helping back, but you guys are talking about mega millions of dollars. And again, where is it coming from? Because when you only have this much pie and you got chunks of it going out, the same people get hit. And somewhere along the line, you don't have enough to compete with that Tennessee you're talking about that's got a collective that's hundreds of millions of dollars, and they can go and they can do that. So we gotta figure out how we can use it to our benefit and get guys like the Stills brothers that want to be part of WVU, and the other stuff will happen. I don't know what the answer is, man, but we better have somebody that can play the game and understand it and work with it and make sure that it benefits us, and because it's here to stay.
Well, the good news is I think that's the reason why they are looking for a new athletic director. And it was someone that knows how to play that game, because obviously that's beyond us. But Darius is a young guy, and Bees, you're still fairly young. Harvey, I mean, you got 8 kids, Harvey. You're old. No matter how old you are, Harvey, you're even older with 8 children.
Is that what wall banger means? Wall banger?
Oh my goodness! Well, I think someone just jumped in here. Let's see if Major has got it. Is he there? Nope. I just see it. Okay, so we're still here. Listen, guys.
May's worried about his fantasy football right now, man.
Yeah, no doubt. That I thought he had a pony or something. I don't know. But listen, let's finish this up and get you guys. First of all, Joe, tell us about what's going on here at the Tap House, the Mountaineer Tap House, right there in Morgantown. What you guys are doing? You're doing a live pregame show just like here, but you're going to be there with lots of good food, spirits, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man, we're going to hang out. We're going to watch a game. We're going to talk some football. Hey, if you're around Morgantown, come on to the Tap House and hang out with us. And it's right above Parmar. And of course, Parmar Wolf, helped make this happen for us this year. And can't thank those guys enough for doing what they're doing and how they support their communities where their stores are. And they do so much, for us here in West Virginia and the other states that they're in. We appreciate it. But yeah, hey, come on out. I mean, and I get it. It's not the greatest season, and it's a couple days after Thanksgiving, and a lot of the students aren't here. Hey, but come on out, hang out with us, and talk some Mountaineer football. Appreciate it.
All right, and Harvey, you got a roll, so I'm going to give you sum it up, brother.
Sum it up. Well, I don't know if you can see my picture back here on the wall, but it's the Sun Bowl. I was hoping Mage would still be on for this, but it's the picture from the Sun Bowl the last time that I had any kind of experience with Oklahoma State. But I'm just hoping that our Mountaineers, Barry Sanders, Thurman
Barry
Thomas,
Sanders.
Gundy, the head coach.
Wait a minute. Didn't it snow that game?
It snowed. It's
only
the
time
only
it still
Super Bowl
has.
ever that snowed.
In Oklahoma.
That's right.
Oh, that was in El Paso.
That was in El Paso.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yep, we lost that game 33-31, I believe. It was 2 points, a real close game. And I wanted Mage on here because I'm still mad at him today because he had me wide open in the end zone for the game winner. So y'all can pass that message on to Mage. He blew it. He messed it up.
Yeah, throw your shade at him. Go ahead. He's not here. Go ahead.
No, but seriously though, I just hope that we can put it together today. Like Joe said, this is the first game to next season. It's the first game to getting our program back to where we need it. You know what I mean? And so it's an audition. I wouldn't want to be a coach in these circumstances because usually senior day is to get all the seniors. It's all about the seniors. Even the ones that haven't played throughout the season, you try to get them into the games. So how do you manage that? Plus the fact that you got to get the young guys some film. Then from a scheme standpoint, how do you keep a defense disciplined when guys are out there trying to get their best performance on the field? So they might not be as disciplined in their gap. They might be out there trying to make sacks. They might be out there trying to make X amount of tackles. You know what I mean? And so it's a tough job for a coach at this standpoint, but I'm just going to end by saying this. I know when a few years ago when the Steelers were struggling early in the season, and a lot of fans were calling to have Mike Tomlin's job. And I just bring this up from a standpoint of leadership, from an administrative standpoint. What the Rooneys did, rather than cast any doubt, they went out and what you said, Wolf, they endorsed him and they gave him an extension. So the bottom line was they made a leadership decision for their organization. In a timely fashion, it shut the fans up. And it said, this is our guy. We're going to win, lose, or tie with our guy. Get on board or get off board. This is what we're doing. West Virginia is at that point where this is what we have to do. And let's endorse our program. All of us have said the same thing. We just want to win. We just want to win. Winning has a way of healing all things. And guess what? You ain't got to worry about the transfer portal at that point. You ain't got to worry about the NIL. The NIL becomes something where you got a whole bunch of stills who just love to play for the Mountaineers, and maybe you use the NIL selectively to go get a 5-star dual threat major heirs next generation. Or next generation Aaron Beasley that you got to pay that money to get those guys to go along with the ones that just want to be Mountaineer football players. And so I'll just close on that point, and then good seeing you guys always. You guys are all legendary guys to me. I love you. I still think I got the best hair out of all of us. Oh, Bees, you right with me, brother. All right, you guys.
Hey, Darius, let us be an example to you. When you have 8 children, that's what happens to your hair. See you, brother.
Darius, good luck to you, brother, man. We love the Steels family, man. You guys are awesome.
All right. Take care, bro.
All right, take care, guys.
Okay,
Right,
so
Bobby.
Bees, I'm gonna let you get going here. I know you guys got a lot there at the Mountaineer Tap House. So what's your summation, man? You've been here all season long.
I just want to see a good finish. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I don't expect a win, but I just want to see some kind of adjustment. I'm still looking for an adjustment from week 1. I want my quarters to play inside once in a while, you know, because it's just I just want to see the guys play and play their hearts out, man, because you never know what's going to happen after this game. And it's like it's really, our sport is like a band of brothers, because even when you got guys that you played against, when you see them, you still talk about those memories. And it's like this game does that. I mean, it's the greatest team sport ever invented. And we go through so much. We sacrifice so much. We put our lives on the line out here, you know. because who knows what could happen in one play. I mean, it's just I just want to see the guys because getting to know some of these guys, that's my favorite thing is being able to see them perform, and just being able to see them have fun because it's in all this talk that we're talking, it's still only a game, and the pressure to me is more on the coach. The pressure isn't on the players because all we do is go out and have fun. We go out, we get tested all week. We got our quizzes during the practice. We got and then we take our tests on the game day. And it's like you put all that work in, go out there and just fly around, have fun. And play every play like it's your last play. That's all I want to see. The energy.
Yeah, I'll say that's all I want to see is energy. I mean, you could tell by the way I get energy or not. Bryce Ford Wheaton catches a deep ball, 50-50 ball, and he don't get up. No, our energy is not in the game. So I want to see, not even just him, but just they just get up and just shrug it off and go. I'm like, all right, our energy isn't there. It's the last game of the season. Some of these seniors, it's their last game ever. So like, if you're tired, who cares? If you throw it up in the game, who cares? It's your last one. Just ball. Like there's nothing. West Virginia football has nothing to lose. Nothing. It's best. And you may mess up. If you mess up, just go 100 miles per hour. We've messing up all year. I think the fans just want to see some intensity, because like at the end of the day, it's easy to just give up now. All right, whatever. We're not winning the bowl game. We're not going. But the real man, it's all about what type of man you are. Like my last game, I did not have the comeback games, but I did anyways. I love this team. I love what I do. So like people just need to do it. Like I want to see the energy.
And that's crazy, Wolf. Hey, Wolf.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you remember the year I had 10 interceptions. I was getting all these inquiries about coming out and leaving early as a junior. I had no intentions of leaving because I didn't want to leave. I was having too much fun. Like I came in with Logan, Band, and Charles and John Brown. I'm like, I'm not leaving these dudes until it's time to go. You got to kick me out of here. I love Morgantown, man.
That is so true.
Love it. Love it.
All right. Joe's, go ahead.
Hey, Wolf, man.
It's been a long season.
But we're talking about, it's been a long season. It's been a great time. This Mountaineer Legends pregame, I mean, we've been great ambassadors for Mountaineer football and our Mountaineer program here, and it's been great. We're talking about this being, the last game for them seniors and maybe the last game forever they play. For me, 37 years ago, bro, 37 years ago, I was going to play my last college football game. I was blessed knowing that, I was going to get some opportunity after, but you don't know that. I mean, I could go out there, blow my knee out on the first damn play, and that's the end. So you know what? You never know when that last play's coming. So if you get one, God almighty, I got goosebumps all over me right now, man. If you get one play, make it the best damn play you can possibly get. So if I'm out there and I get one series or I get one opportunity, damn it, give everything you got. Put it on film for nostalgia, all right? Because guess what? One day you're going to wake up 60 years old and go, damn, I regret not playing my best game, that last game that I had the opportunity to do so. And here's the challenge. I've been hearing you guys talk about the energy and the juice and bringing that. The challenge is to do that for 4 quarters, every play, no matter what. Mistakes are going to happen. Bad stuff's going to happen during a game. But if I'm busted and I'm flying every single opportunity, good things will happen. We can't just be fired up for a minute or a quarter or 3 quarters. We got to go from freaking whistle to final gun and go 4 quarters. Have we seen 4 quarters of that kind of energy this year out of our guys? One game, 4 quarters. No, we haven't seen a complete game yet. I would love to see that. All this ancillary crap Put it aside, boys. It don't matter. It's about what B said. It's about the brothers. It's about the guy next to me. We're going to remember this for the rest of our freaking lives. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see that senior picture, and you're going to see guys start passing away. I've lost 4 guys out of our senior class. God rest their souls. So play football for them, and play football for the freaking legacy of what Mountaineer football is. And get somebody in there that believes that. And surround yourself with people that believe that. Quit hijacking our program with a bunch of people that really don't give a rat's ass about Morgantown and West Virginia. Get some people in there that give a crap and love it. I'm sorry I'm getting frustrated and fired up, but damn it, I wear this like all you guys do, man. I bleed it, and we deserve better. So give us something today to make us feel good about the days to come. Amen, baby. Amen. Let's go, Mountaineers.
Sure.
Woo!
No
Son
better.
of a puck, I need some wings.
All right. All right, brother. You know what?
Love
I
you,
think
Wolf.
love
Hey,
you too,
thank
man. I love all you guys.
Thank
you. You know what? There's just loyalty and love between players. It doesn't matter what age you are. As head of the alumni I was for 14 years, I could go back to guys in the 70s, and they would still talk the same way you talk about Mother WVU. Still talk the same way. And the bond that I had, even though I was not in the same classes or even the same decade as these players, it didn't matter, because from decade to decade to decade to decade, it has always been about Mother WVU and sporting that WV and showing it and representing the state, the great state of West Virginia. So that's it, guys. I think we'll be coming back. We need to have some talks here in the future about what's going on. Let's keep updating the situation. Darius, man, I'm so happy. Get it going, man. Get going, young brother.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? We're gonna be here. We're gonna be rooting for you. We're gonna be talking about you. And when you can join us, please do so. Always open invitation. All right, with that, I'm gonna leave it. Thank you, Parmar Stores. And there's not a Parmar store next to you now. There will be one soon. And there you go, Joes. And go to the Mountaineer Tap House today. Mountaineer Tap House. If you're in Morgantown, if you're in Fairmont, come on down. Coach Nealon, I think we're going to be there today. Is that true or not true, Joes? Am I right?
You know what? I just shot him a text. Hey, he's older and he's had some surgery, and you know what?
Yeah, he shows up.
Amen.
All right. God bless you all. God bless you, Mountaineer Nation. Let's go, Mountaineers. Beat Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Let's go, Mountaineers.
Sir. Go Mountaineers.
Hi, my name's James Gamitter, and I'm from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. And when I'm back home in the Pittsburgh area, you can find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that golden boot pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Where do the true gold and blue faithful go for the best in beer, burgers, pizza, wings, and more? It's the Mountaineer Tap House on the Evansdale campus. Mountaineer Tap House features well over 40 craft beers on tap, plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza, and tacos the University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails too. Dine on the balcony or chill out inside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Parmar store on the Evansdale campus.